Yo, yo, yo.
What's
What's
good? What's good? What's
good?
good, man?
What's good? Man, we back at season two, OTC, man. Over the counter podcast. We are back at it. First episode back. We got a lot on the docket. We're gonna hit some regulations around crypto. We're gonna get into some DeFi. I'm gonna show y'all some how-to stuff on how to actually make your assets work for you. Super simple, super easy, nothing too crazy. We gonna really do some building block stuff around that. And then we got earnings week. We got to hit earnings week. A lot going on in terms of that. Some really high end companies have earnings week coming up. And then we're going to show you some charts, show you how we look at charts, show you how we look at plays ahead of time, and go from there. So it's our first episode back. I'm happy to be back. It's been a minute. A lot of things have occurred since our last episode. So, man, it's only right. It's only right.
Yeah, man. It's been highly requested, man. It's been highly requested.
Yeah.
A lot of questions being asked. Been posting a lot of content on Instagram. Just of our trading journey. I know we talked to them before about in season one talking about starting options trading. And now we full fledged into that. Been printing a lot of money, so
I mean,
it's a lot going on in the market to talk about, man. So we're gonna get straight to it.
yeah. I mean, just to go ahead and get it out the way, regulations. I mean, it's a lot of market structure related stuff going on with crypto. Right now, the Clarity Act is what's being passed over to Congress. So that's really just mainly about clarifying who regulates what in terms of crypto, what tokens fall under the CFTC, which typically regulates commodities, trading, futures, that type of stuff. And then what crypto assets fall under the SEC and how they'll regulate, securities and stuff like that. The Genius Act was passed, so I don't know if y'all remember. Y'all should remember us talking about the Genius Act. That was pretty big back then. Literally like start of the year, and that was mainly around stablecoins. So now that they've passed that, it's on to complete market structure related regulations. So things like DeFi will be impacted. What falls under the CFTC, what falls under the SEC, and things of that nature. So a lot more to come around that. A lot more to come around that. They tend to slow play though, so don't expect anything by the end of the year. I highly doubt the Clarity Act is passed through Congress by the end of the year, especially with this government shutdown. They're gonna have to they have a lot to catch up with after things get up and running again.
Yeah, this government shutdown is affecting a lot, brother. More than people really know. You know, I know everybody talk about the SNAP benefits and all that stuff, but our financial system is deeply endowed into government funds and all that stuff. So it's a lot of stuff being slowed down, a lot of stuff being put on pause. But hopefully we can get a resolution with that soon.
Right,
For sure.
really. Hopefully, it moves pretty quick once things get up and running. I know Trump ain't really been slowed down. I mean, he been having deals with China. We should find some more information related to that. Hopefully, coming up this week in terms of the trade
Hmm.
deal. Snap benefits, yeah, that's definitely impacted EBT stuff like that. You know, banks they heavily impacted by this government shutdown. With the repo fund being dried up essentially, so we'll see how that impacts banks once things get up and running. Hopefully, not too bad, but it was gonna happen anyway, eventually. So,
Hmm.
um, I really want to get into like this DeFi starter type of thing. A lot of people when they talk to me about crypto, a lot of people they really think it's just buy and hold, which is a major part of crypto, but that's really not all you can do. One of the most powerful things about crypto is being able to leverage it to create a passive income, and it's levels to it. You got the beginner stuff where you like really at the bottom level, not doing a whole lot, but you still are able to earn something. And then you got medium and advanced. You know what I'm saying? You got the intermediate level and you got the advanced level. So I definitely want to start taking y'all through some building blocks. I kind of already do this on my channel, but with this being a different medium, it's an opportunity to walk people through the baby steps and kind of help them graduate through those. So I definitely want to do that real quick. So let me share my screen. I got something up already. So one of the most basic things when it comes to DeFi is borrow and lending, otherwise known as money markets. So borrow and lending is almost like the very basics of becoming your very own bank. You know what I'm saying? So once you've acquired certain assets, it's not just about holding them and waiting for price to appreciate. Crypto does have volatile assets where the price fluctuates, kind of like Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, anything along those lines. And then you have stable coins where things are very stable. It's like pegged 1 to 1 to a dollar, and things of that nature. So the price almost never swings like that at all. And with those assets, there is a lot of things that you can do with them on the money market side. Here, let me zoom in a little bit because it looks small.
Yeah, shout out Cortland and Greg in the chat, man. Shout out
On
Cortland and Greg
me.
in the chat.
I mean, we do got
Yeah.
some people in the chat, so appreciate y'all for showing up. Appreciate y'all for showing
Mhm.
up. But yeah, so like here on an application like Kinetic or Aave, so like if you in Flare, then you should know about Kinetic. If you're in the Ethereum ecosystem, you should know about Aave. They basically work the same. Once you've acquired certain assets, you can lend them out for people to borrow against. And the way in which you get paid is through the interest rate that people are paying to borrow against their liquidity, right? So if you hold stable coins like USDT or USDC, you can lend those out. And by lending those assets out, you can earn anywhere between 12.7% and 26% and 16%, depending on which stable that you're lending out. Now, think of this like you would a bank account, right? Think about putting cash in a savings account and your bank pays you like 0.3, maybe that, if that, percent a year for holding your assets in a bank account, because that's essentially what they're doing. Banks only make money by lending out assets and people borrowing against them, essentially a loan. Got a question in the chat from Jay. I don't know how to pronounce your name, but
Javier, that's my boy Javier,
okay,
man.
Javier. Okay, my bad. I didn't
Yeah.
want to mess your name up, man. I hate messing
hmm
people's name up. Is there a risk in lending out with crypto? There is always a risk with lending out in crypto or just lending anything, really. Any DeFi, there's always a risk. But I will say lending, borrowing, and lending is probably the lower tier on the risk side of things. This is what I tell people to start off with when they first want to get into DeFi, because this is like the lowest end of the risk spectrum that you can possibly get. But it's very easy to understand because it's very akin to like putting money in the savings account. And yeah, it works the same for ETH, works the same for stable coins, works the same for assets that are volatile, things of that nature. Now, the flip side of that is borrowing, and I'm gonna save that because that's a different aspect to it. But the very basic perspective is just lending out, receiving payments in the form of interest from people borrowing against the liquidity that you're putting up, and going from there. So, like I said, I don't know about you, but I can't earn 16% at a bank. I can't earn 26% at a bank or 12%, right? And based on the supply ratios of an asset determines the payout in terms of APY or interest. So you really want to pay attention to certain things like that. This is Kinetic, but like I said, if you're in the ETH ecosystem, it really pretty much works the same with Aave. And they have different interest rates depending on the asset as well. So um, definitely wanted to kind of talk about that real quick, show y'all how you can earn with assets like stablecoins or volatile assets. So yeah, check it out. Check it out. If you have any questions related to that, always hit me up. Feel free to hit me up. I don't mind answering DMs because then I know, hey, you didn't watch my video, you didn't watch the pod. All right, cool.
Yeah.
Cool. I don't mind
Yeah.
answering questions if I know it's coming from the fact that you didn't watch my content. Don't mind that at
Mhm.
all. So hit me up in the DMs if you got any questions, or visit my YouTube channel, AFHD Media on YouTube, if you want to go further in depth. Either way, I'm always available.
Yeah, shout out to boy social studies too, man.
On me.
I see
On
you, boy.
me.
I see you.
Appreciate y'all for joining. Appreciate y'all for joining.
For
But anyway,
sure.
let's go ahead and rotate back on over to the stock market. I know my mans want to talk about earnings week. We got Nvidia, we got Palantir.
hmm
I think AMD. I think AMD's
Yes,
coming up.
sir.
I had
Tuesday.
Meta on the list, but I don't think Meta earnings is this week.
Meta did last week. You can't forget that, but they dropped by $50.
Yeah. Yeah, that was ooh, that was rough. That was rough. That was rough. That
Yep.
was rough. But all right, so earnings week. Tell the people why, or first of all, what it is and why it's so important for companies. I know this week is specific for certain companies, but
Hmm.
every company that's on like the Nasdaq or the S&P 500, they have some type of earnings that they report out to shareholders. But tell the people what earnings is and why earnings week is so important.
Gotcha. All right. First and foremost, um, if you new, don't know who I am, go by Bilu the Investor. As you know, my boy Ace, he covered crypto, covered stocks, and just want to say thank y'all for being here. Honestly, everybody that's tuned in, everybody that's gonna watch, and everybody that will watch. It's all about the education. It's all about making money, getting the information. So with that being said, earnings reports reflect to my notes, so I don't tell y'all nothing wrong. Tell y'all, the a summarized version. Earnings reports is pretty much just a financial document that publicly traded companies have to put out, whether it be quarterly or earning or annually. So right now, what we talking about is a quarterly earning. So pretty much in earnings reports, it's just financial performance, talking about their expenses, net profit, other financial data, products that they may have coming out, guidance, and different things like that. So when we're talking about earnings, there's usually three, pretty much three top things that you'll see when people are asking if a company beat its earnings or if they didn't beat. Usually people are looking at EPS, which is earnings per share. I've talked about that before on YouTube. Earnings per share is pretty much a measure of a company's profitability. So when you have a higher EPS, that means a company is essentially earning. EPS is pretty much what a company is making in profit per share. So to come to EPS, for those of you that like formulas and like to know, what you're coming to when we're talking about EPS, it's net income minus preferred dividends divided by outstanding common shares. And that's going to tell you a company's profitability. So if they have a higher EPS, then that's great. I mean, that company is becoming more and more profitable. So when you're looking at companies in regards to earnings, you want to see a company that you're following, gradually increase that EPS. If you have a lower EPS, that's lower profitability. So, and when we're talking about earnings, since that's one of the big metrics that people focus on when we're talking about earnings, if a company has an earnings estimate of, let's say, $1.35, that's their estimated EPS. That's what the street, the stock market, that's what analysts are expecting them. That's the metric they're expecting them to come in at. If they come in at a $2 EPS, that mean that company beat. They came in higher than what the street or the stock market analysts, whatever you want to call it, they came in higher than what they projected for them. If they come in at a dollar, that mean they came in 35 cents less than what the street had them at. So
And
they
EPS
didn't they
stands for earnings per share,
earnings per
right?
share.
Gotcha.
That mean they didn't beat that benchmark. So EPS is one thing that you want to see. Whatever the benchmark is, whatever the street is estimating them to be at, you always want to see that EPS come in higher. If you see it come in less, that's bad.
No
It's finna go
bueno.
left. It's finna go left for you. If you see them come in at EPS, that's still not the greatest. The market wants to see companies beating that EPS. The next thing is net income. Now, when we're talking about net income, that's going to be total revenue minus total expenses. So we're not calculating just the sales. We want to get the expenses out of there, and that's how you come to that net income. So that's another thing you want to see increase. As a company is progressing in their earnings, or if you're following a company that maybe is not really a penny stock, but a smaller company, that's growing and they're building out their roadmap and they're becoming profitable. You want to see that net income increase quarter over quarter over quarter, increasing their profitability, increasing their margins. And then the next metric that you would usually see when they're talking about if a company beat earnings or not is sales, which is pretty much just units sold divided by the average cost of that product. And you want to see those sales numbers increase quarter to quarter, year to year as well. So when we're talking about earnings, before we get into earnings that I'm looking at and kind of what we're expecting out of these earnings, I want y'all to understand earnings is a financial report that a company is required to provide to its investors, giving you financial data over their earnings, talking about their, expenses, any taxes they have to pay, products. They're going over any debt that they have, how much money they've made, how much money they haven't made. So it's pretty much just a financial report giving you a financial overview of a company so that you can make an informed decision as an investor if you want to invest in this company, if you want to pull money out of this company, want to add it to your watch list. That's pretty much all it is. And then the last thing on top of EPS, net income, and sales is forward guidance, which usually happens in a call after the financial reports come out. And companies will give, or CEOs will give forward guidance, pretty much just forward projections on that same financial data, whether that be products coming out, whether that be partnerships, whether that be future EPS numbers, future net income numbers, future sales projections, things like that is what'll come out in guidance. So, I mean, that's pretty much what earnings reports are. So, when we're talking about earnings reports from an investor's perspective, it's important because if you're trading, of course, you want to know, what's going on with these earnings, especially if you play earnings, um, which is trading earnings up or down. You want to know, you want to know, how can I put this? Because let me backtrack that. Because I don't even want to get people in the wrong mind frame.
Right, right,
When you're
right.
starting out in investing, I wouldn't advise anybody to play earnings, especially if you're new in this game. I would advise you to let earnings come out, see how the market reacts to earnings when a company beats, when a company doesn't beat, when they come in at earnings. I want people to look at these financial documents. I want people to go to an app like Qatar, actually listen to the guidance calls so that you can really see how these earnings reports affect the market as well as your investment, especially if you're in these companies. And if you are trying to get into investing, you definitely need to be paying attention to earnings because things like financials, forward guidance, different partnerships, different products coming out. This is all stuff you need to this is all stuff you need to be in the know about. So in regards to there's a lot of earnings coming out this week. But there's a few that I will be specifically paying attention to, whether that means they're in my portfolio or some, bro,
That's
Greg is crazy
wild.
in the chat.
In, Nvidia
Yeah.
puts, AMD puts is crazy.
Hey, don't listen to that man. He trying to send y'all on a crash that we mentioned. But nah, in regards to earnings that I'm looking for, because there's a lot of earnings coming out this month. I mean, this coming week, from November 3rd to the 7th. On Monday, one of the key earnings that I'm going to be looking for, two of the key earnings I'm going to be looking for is HIMS, which is just they provide healthcare services, hair loss, ED, weight loss, the GLP ones, oral and injections, skincare, stuff like that. And then the second one is Palantir, which you should all know about Palantir. If you've been following this channel since season one, I think these are two companies we both talked about. Palantir is a software company that produces data analysis platforms for organizations to integrate and manage their data for decision making. They work with multiple government agencies. They work in the commercial sector in regards to defense, healthcare, and finance, and they just signed a massive partnership with Nvidia. So Palantir is definitely one of those ones that I'm going to be looking at. And then on Tuesday, the big dog, AMD. That's one that, you know, which we'll get to talking a little more about later when we get to doing probably some more episodes. We playing AMD earnings, ain't we?
We gonna have to. I mean, it is what it is. I mean,
Hey,
this is how I feel. This is how I feel about it. You miss any shot you don't take. That's all. Like if it go, it go. If it don't, hey, that was the risk we was willing to take.
this is not financial advice. I
At
can't believe we ain't
all.
said
At
that, Chad.
all. At
Hey,
all.
because
Hey,
look,
this man Greg talking about puts, man. I don't know. I
I'm gonna
don't
tell you like
know.
this: if you've been following AMD for, I don't know if y'all remember or not, but anybody who's been following this channel, I know y'all remember AMD earlier this year,
In the gutter.
literally being the ugly stepchild of the semiconductor chips. They was getting hit the hardest. They were falling week after week, month after month. They went down. They was in bear market territory. I think it was more than 20-30% they went down earlier this year.
Bro, they were
And
in the gutter. Like I don't even like. I know it was bad. I
it was
and we gonna have
terrible.
to bring this back. We gonna have to bring that back. Actually, I'm gonna have to bring that back. We got to vibe
And,
somewhere,
and what did we say? Keep
bro.
buying.
Keep buying, cause I remember. Actually, yeah, I do remember how low AMD was. Let's see.
I think it went to like $70 or something like that,
Bro,
didn't it? Or
our
it
last
maybe even
episode
lower.
was in June of
Hmm.
this year, right? I believe so, somewhere around there. So, but we started November of last year when we first started talking about AMD. AMD got all the way down to $76.
Hmm.
Well, I
And
remember
I,
this. We charted it.
yeah,
We
we
charted
said
it.
buy, 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 buy. We told you don't listen to the news. Don't listen to, because I remember at that time the catalyst for a lot of the semiconductor chips dropping was that China large language model that came out,
Yeah, yeah.
and
Deep
everybody,
Sea.
everybody,
Yeah.
everybody was scared. Everybody was selling off, and we told y'all that you know there's a number one and there's a number two, and when we're talking about the semiconductor chip space, you have Nvidia and you have AMD. They provide services or they have a niche for two different segments when we're talking about the semiconductor chip sector. Nvidia, of course, is the biggest in this thing, but then you also have AMD, who can provide just as much compute power, if not more, in some instances, but for a lower price. Everybody doesn't need the highest tier GPUs out there and the highest scale compute power. So we told y'all that. We told y'all that AMD is definitely one that you should be buying a dip. I know for sure I
Absolutely.
bought the dip, up
Absolutely.
crazy, and now we see AMD surpass Nvidia. I
Bro,
think AMD is like,
I literally still got it on a chart where we charted the bottom at, like I said, actually no, where this is at 97, 90, no, $94.35. And then we have that indicator where it shows if it went all the way back up to all-time high, which at the time was $227.61. That would have been 140% increase if you bought the bottom and rode that back up to all-time high. And look where we at. We at
man,
today,
it's
before the
like
market
250
opens
something,
tomorrow, we at
250 something.
$256.12. I mean,
And I tell you, and I tell y'all what, I tell y'all what, hot take, because we're talking about earnings. There's another little tidbit of information that y'all need to pay attention to: implied volatility. When we're talking about earnings, usually a stock will have an implied volatility, which is pretty much just a percentage of how much you can expect a company to go up or down based on if the street likes their earnings report or not, if the market like their earnings report or not. So AMD, since we on the topic of them, they have a 9.1% implied volatility coming into these earnings on Tuesday, which means, I think I said it earlier this week in our group chat, if AMD smashes their earnings, like I believe they will, you're gonna see that thing over $300 by end of week.
that's a
Got
fat
you got
move.
to we
Yeah, that's a
you
fat move.
well, but you guys, look what we've been seeing though. Semiconductors is on fire. AMD is on fire. People already clamoring for them. We already seen them run up from this. Another thing. We was at AMD play. We got in what about 160?
Yeah. Yeah, anything
Boy, we
possible. After seeing that,
we
anything possible.
we got in, and Greg, tell him in the chat, man. We got in that play 160 on a Friday. Monday that thing what at 212?
2,700%. That's crazy.
And then even after that, it ran up all the way up to 260, and now it's sitting around like 250, 256. You said so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have no doubt that if they come in and smash earnings, I have no doubt that we can see them at 300 by end of week for sure. But that also, in saying that, I told you that implied volatility work both ways. If earnings come out, guidance come out, they don't beat any of those top metrics I told you about. They say something in guidance that the street don't like.
It could get
You can
ugly.
see it go the other way. You can see it
It
go the
could
other
get
way. So
ugly.
that's always a risk that you have to take into account. And why we say don't don't play earnings. Playing earnings, I mean, you can make a educated guess based on you following that company and seeing the partnerships they have and seeing how they've scaled and what they have going on in the data center business and different products from listening to different keynotes and things that these CEOs are doing. But at the end of the day, there's no foregone conclusion when we're talking about these companies' earnings and their financial data. I mean, look at who was it? Well, yeah, it was Meta.
Yeah.
They would have beat
Yeah.
earnings. They had a one-time payment nobody knew about. You wouldn't have known about it unless you were privy to their financials. They had a one-time payment, a tax payment that they had to pay, like, what was it, a couple of $1 billion.
Yeah. It was like 15 billion or something like that.
If it wasn't for that, they would have beat. And those are the type of things that they can come out in our earnings report to throw you a curveball, and things can get bad for you when you try to play earnings, or if you have a position open, or if you're just in that stock regardless. So earnings is always something that you just have to be careful about, but it's also something that as an investor you want to be informed about. You have If there's companies that you got on your watch list, whether you're talking about day trading, long-term investing, earnings season is vital to you. You can't say you're an investor and you're not paying attention to earnings.
Absolutely.
You shouldn't be trading. You're not paying attention to earnings, because the financials matter, the forward guidance matters, partnerships matters, all these things matter. So, just want to stress that for sure.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So did you want to get into some of the charts in
Yeah, we
terms
can
of
do
what
that.
you're
We can do
looking
that. We
at?
can do that.
Because I got a chart that I want to pay attention to on the crypto side. Obviously, everybody should
Hmm.
know by now, Bitcoin runs the entire market. If Bitcoin move a certain
Hmm.
type of way, expect every altcoin and so on and so forth to follow in some degree or
Let's
another.
let's let's pull up Bitcoin real quick, because supposedly Trump is supposed to be making a crypto announcement potentially this week. We also know that the Fed just pumped a lot of money into the system. They turned that money printer back on. We got quantitative easing coming back. So I think crypto can be, especially Bitcoin, can be a major recipient to the upside on some of this news coming out. So what we got going on Bitcoin, man?
Bro, I actually hope so. I do hope so, but I don't know. And the market right now to me kind of tells me that we don't know because it's
Hmm.
chopping. We on the weekly
Yeah.
right here. It's the weekly time frame. We've been in this range for a couple weeks now. What, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, about to be 18 weeks. That's what, 4, 8, 12, 16. So that's 4 months, 5 months almost. Almost half the year. We've been trading in this range right here on the weekly time frame, right? So if something do positively comes out related to crypto, and Bitcoin obviously being a major recipient of that, and that's going to trickle down, then I would expect us to break out of this range somehow, some way, or at least try and test the top of this range. But if it's bad, if the market don't like what's coming out, because mind you,
Hmm.
we have unemployment numbers coming out this week. We got well, we have employment numbers coming out this week, but we have unemployment recipients coming out this week. So data around how many Americans is actually pulling from the unemployment pool on top of like just job numbers, basically.
Hmm.
So that, even though we had inflation, we got a rate cut last week, that type of thing, them job numbers could really sway the market, not just in crypto, but I
Are,
do think in stocks too. But
are those numbers supposed to come out even with government shutdown? That won't
so
affect the numbers.
I ain't heard anything different. I haven't heard
Okay.
anything different. So if it don't come out, then I think we should know that by tomorrow at the very least, because they come out like Tuesday or Wednesday, I think. Um, but yeah, if I'm being real with you, I don't really think them job numbers is gonna be too good. That's just me.
Nah, they haven't been the last few times.
So we'll see how impactful those numbers are to the markets. But with the Fed essentially saying they ready to like turn the printer on and start printing money, that's we know inflation is beneficial in the long run, or I guess not necessarily in the long run, but midterm for the markets. If totally new to this investing stocks, crypto, UTC, where should one honestly begin? Also, should one put in extra money when able into stock markets, crypto, like an app in Robinhood? Hey, I'm
Oh,
gonna tell you
Robin
off rip.
Hood.
I'm gonna tell you off rip. Stay
Oh,
far away
Robin
from
Hood,
Robinhood.
brother.
Stay
My
far
goodness.
away from Robinhood.
All right,
That's
all right. Let's just have a look. Us personally, especially as a trader, if you trade options or day trade, we have a love and hate relationship with Robinhood because there have been too many times where you're in a position and things are running up, you got a lot of money being made, or you're trying to get into a play. And Robinhood is notorious for going down, when retail investors are trying to sell, trying to get out of plays, when you have stocks that are short squeezing or running up crazy and retail is busting the institutional investors over the head, their app goes down. You have stocks getting halted in the middle of trading days. They're not letting you enter trades the first 15 minutes of the market. Oh, it's just a lot of BS with Robinhood.
yeah,
But they have a lot. It's a good app. They got a lot of great tools and stuff on there.
right.
It's a lot of big people that use Robinhood for sure. So I mean, you can use it.
If you're not using it for day trading, I'll say that might be a good starter app. I personally, even if you are new to it, I would recommend Webull over Robinhood. But at the same time, Robinhood has features that Webull doesn't, and it's more
Hmm.
user friendly though. Like I will say that Robinhood is pretty good on the new user experience.
Yeah. You
But in
also got
terms,
Thinkorswim. Thinkorswim
yeah,
too. That's another big one that a lot of people use.
Thinkorswim. I know a lot of
Hmm.
people that use that, but me personally, I would stay far away from Robinhood, even with the new user friendly type of vibe. I personally like Robinhood. Hell, I started my options trading journey on Webull. I did not go to Robinhood because of all the traders that I knew told me not to get on Robinhood, and I understood why. Webull is cool. I like Webull.
Yeah, I like Webull. The only thing about Webull is if you day trading, they feels, they
They
execution
be
on they
iffy.
feels,
It be
they
iffy.
execution on they feels is kind of crazy. But Robinhood, man, I think besides if you take out all of the sketchy stuff, when you're trying to get out of plays and them holding stocks and doing all that crazy stuff, uh, I think it is a great uh app overall. Overall, they also have earnings this week on Wednesday, which is another earnings I'll be looking at. But man, I don't know, man. It's hit or miss. It's a lot of people that use Robinhood. My boy
Right.
Greg in the chat right now use Robinhood. He also got a Weeble account, also on Fidelity. So I would say try different ones. Try
Yeah.
different ones, see what works for you, see what you like. See what
But
you
he
like.
did have multiple questions in this, so I want to make sure we hit every question that
Okay.
he asked. So he asked about which one should you start with between investing in stocks or crypto. I mean, in my opinion, it depends on where your interest is first. I ain't even gonna lie to you. I'm more heavier on the crypto side, but I'd be a fool not to be paying attention to the stock side too, right? But at the same time, you can't be an expert in everything, which is why linking up with people who are good in different areas compared to you are is very important. So for me, I started in crypto. I learned how the financial game works through crypto. But linking up with other people, they understand the stock side better. So I'm learning off them and I'm starting my own stock portfolio. I'm starting trading options, things of that nature. But again, I started in crypto, so it really just depends on where you are and where your interest is for the time being. That's my opinion on that.
I'll say this because we talked about this on the pod before. I think your investor identity plays a role in
Hmm.
in answering that question. Are you someone that has a larger appetite for risk? Do you want more of a slow burn investment? Are you interested in dividends? Do you want to actively manage your portfolio? Are you interested in leveraging your assets, staking them, liquidity pools, all that type of stuff. So it kind of depends on, what kind of assets you want, what you want to be able to do with them, what kind of exposure, what kind of sectors do you want exposure to. But I'll say this, if you are interested in both, a app like Robinhood, is somewhere that you can kind of do both if you like. And I'll say this, dollar cost averaging them both. Dollar cost averaging them both. You don't have to choose one or the other because I'm in
Right.
both.
That is true. That is true.
You don't have to choose one or the other. You can dollar cost average into both. And what I mean by dollar cost averaging is just like, say you get paid twice a month, and say you got $500 you're gonna invest. That's your budget. You can put 250 into stocks every month, 250 into crypto every month. So you can just split it up however you like. But I would say you don't have to choose. And of course, if you got extra money um laying around that you would like to invest, I say for sure. Only thing I say, if you're dollar cost averaging, it technically doesn't matter to be buying at 52-week highs and all-time highs and stuff like that. But if you're going to be dropping lump sums or big amounts, I would say into crypto or stocks, be mindful of where the stock
Where you
is
are.
in
Hmm.
regards to, its 52-week high. You don't want to be buying at the top and you get a 15, 10, 20% pullback and you got to sit through that. It's not, especially if you're a new investor, you're not going to like it. And 9 times out of 10, you're probably going to sell uh in the red if you
Right.
have to stomach that in the beginning. So I would say, yeah, just dollar cost average, brother. That's what I would tell you. Dollar cost average for sure, and do both.
Well, let me finish this BTC chart analysis, and then we'll answer some more questions. Because I see them coming through. I love that. Keep asking them
What y'all
questions
think
because that's
about
why we're here.
Netflix 10 to You want to answer?
That's
You
why
want
we're
to
here.
answer that Netflix thing real quick, or go or wait till after the Bitcoin?
Let's wait till after Bitcoin because I actually
I
want to
bet, bet,
pull
bet.
up the Netflix. I want to look at
Yeah,
the
we'll get
Netflix
to that.
chart.
We'll
Yeah, I
get to
definitely
that.
want to look
So
at the Netflix chart. But anyway, so in terms of BTC, we ranging right now. Obviously, we respecting the trend line. So if we break out of this range, we break in trend line. I expect this to come down and to retest the support area, which is a counterfar drop. I don't know if we'll go that far, but anything's possible. If it's good though, if the market likes what it sees, depending on you know quantitative easing, so QE, that means we're printing money again, not taking
hmm
money out the system. I expect us to kind of break out of this, start testing these highs of this range, and then hopefully make a new all-time high in terms of Bitcoin, which means that some of that money should start flowing down into these altcoins over here that I'm tracking. Another thing that I'll be watching is Bitcoin dominance. For those that don't know what that is, that basically determines how strong Bitcoin's influence is over the whole market. So when Bitcoin dominance is below like 50%, so closer to 40%, that usually signals altcoin season. That means that anything but Bitcoin is running up for sure. And that has the most influence on the market. Anything but Bitcoin. So those are the two charts that I'll be paying attention to. Right now, what we're looking at right here is Bitcoin dominance chart. It is at 60%. So Bitcoin is still in control of the market for the most part. So we're just gonna see. We're just gonna see. Moving on to the Netflix question, because that is a very good question.
Netflix,
I want to pull up
Netflix.
the Netflix chart.
And while he pulling that chart, I'll tell you this. Me personally, the Netflix 10-1 stock split is an opportunity that I made two plays on. I bought 4 shares on, I bought 4 shares on Friday. I bought 4 shares on Friday that on November 16th, I believe, will turn into 40 shares when they split. I also opened up a call, I think it's a $1,200 call expiring November 14th, in anticipation of that stock split. Usually what tends to happen leading up to a stock split is you will see the price of a stock start to run up until the day of the stock split. So I anticipate a move up from where we currently are. I think we closed at $1,122 on Netflix, if I'm not mistaken. And I expect it to get my price targets where I expect it to go, as long as we don't get any crazy catalyst that comes from politics, geopolitics, the government shutdown, any of that type of stuff. That's always something you have to worry about in the back of your mind. But if everything goes smoothly up into earnings, I expect us to get anywhere from 1,240 to $1,300. And that's why I bought 4 shares, not only take advantage of the stock split, but I also entered a call position to take advantage of that upward momentum leading up to the stock split. Now, after the stock splits, of course, the stock split, you'll have more shares, which is good. For those of you that don't know, when a stock splits, the price that you see on the screen will, so if Netflix closed at $1,000, stock splits 10 for 1, that new price will be $100. Now, you would say that's crazy. I lose money. No, you did not lose money. All they did was, it's a numbers game. That's all they did. You would still have, if you had $1,000 for one Netflix share, so you had $1,000 worth of Netflix, you would still have that same $1,000 worth of Netflix following the stock split. You would just have 10 shares representing that thousand instead of one. That's all a stock split is. And they do stock splits to lower the price of a stock to attract more retail investment, because more people can afford to buy $100 share versus $1,000 share. Once your price start getting up to them levels, people get scared away. So I would say, if Netflix is one of those companies you've been wanting to build a position in, I think this is a great opportunity. You can either buy shares now and get more when the stock splits, or let the stock split and then buy it at the lower price. It's up to you.
Right. I wanna continue on the Netflix chart though, because looking at this, we've been respecting this trend line for a cool minute. Again, we on the weekly time
Hmm.
frame, high time frame. I got the golden
Oh, we got
ratio.
a gap to fill
Yes, sir.
potentially.
Yes, sir.
Explain to him what that little gap is, man. What do we call that gap?
Well, which one you looking at? That's what I need to know.
The
The yellow
one that
is
that buy
or
side imbalance, that buy side imbalance.
right here, right here.
Yeah, yeah, that
This
one.
this
The one
yeah.
that sit. Yeah. So did when we here, do y'all
Oh,
see how we sit? Y'all see how we sitting on top of that box?
yes,
So you
sir.
see price sitting on top of that box. So there's either one or two things that's gonna happen. We are either going to bounce off of that box and use it as support and move higher, or price is going to break into that box and
Feel
fill
it.
that gap.
Yes,
So that's
sir.
what you'll be looking for with that. That's what you'll be looking for. I pray it go up because I'm in a position. I'm in a position. So I'm gonna tell you though. I'm gonna tell you though. We sat on top of that box all day long Friday. Price did not want to break below. Um, there should be money coming into Netflix up until earnings. Historically, that's what happens with a lot of stock splits. But we in weird times in the market. We'll see. But it's either gonna go up or fill that gap. I pray it go
So
up.
I mean, you got a fair value gap right here,
Mm-hmm.
which goes into the golden ratio.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, you definitely right. I mean, it could either fill the fair value or it could use the golden ratio here, which is part of the fair value, which is very kind of
Boy, shit, I'm balls deep in Netflix. Greg is wild.
Greg is
Greg wilding in
wild,
the
boy.
chat.
Boy, he wild. So this is my
Oh my
thing. The
god.
fact that you have a fair value gap and the golden ratio kind of like overlapping each other, I'm kind of hoping it uses that as support to kind of explode here and at least retest this high.
I
That's
I
my
I
thing.
and where's the high at? Is that high just
The
above
the high
1,300?
is the high is 1340.
1,340. Okay, so I just told y'all I expect price leading up to earnings to get in between 1,240 and 1,300. So that's what I expect. And if you pretty much look at, if can you zoom in on that a little bit?
Let's
If
see.
you
Let's
look
see.
if you look at this at price right now, we were in a tight sideways range
Hmm.
up until you see that big blue candle coming down. And I believe was that that wasn't the China tariffs, was it?
Started what October 10th. What is
No,
this? No, that's August.
no, I'm tripping. That blue candle you see right there that you got the cursor over right there.
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
believe that was when Marcus was just dumping Friday, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's the October 20th candle.
Oh, you on the weekly? That's
Yeah,
weekly.
this the
So that had
weekly.
to be that had to been China news then. That had to been a China week.
No, no, because the blue
What was the
candle,
week when he
the
when
deep
he?
blue candle right here is October 20th. The one before it was October 13th, which was 3 days
No, not
after
that
the
one.
China news.
The,
This one. All that
did they
news
have
happened. All that news happened October
what was
10th,
they?
where
What
Trump
was
and them was
Netflix?
beefing
What
about
was?
rare earth metals and stuff like that and raising up tariffs.
Oh, that. Let me check. That might have been their earnings. There might have been their earnings. When was their earnings? They had earnings on. That might have been earnings. They had earnings on October 21st.
Yeah, this the candle.
Yeah,
This
that
is
was
this is
earnings. That
October
was
20th
earnings.
candle right here.
Okay, so this is a prime example on the charts of, and let me open it up so I can show y'all what they had. This is a prime example of when we're talking about earnings, when we say it can go left
Mm-hmm.
or go for you. So in the case of their earnings, they let me see that they beat. I don't think they beat. I don't think they beat. They couldn't have beat
Which is
with that kind of
I,
drop.
yeah, that was about to say, with that kind of drop, that
Yeah.
makes sense. That
So
makes sense.
that earnings, whether they beat or not, because sometimes you will see a company like SoFi that did beat, the market still don't like it. So whether they beat or not,
But don't even bring so far up, man. I mean, I made my money, but still, like,
yeah, whether
make
they
no.
beat or not, the market obviously did not like Netflix earnings. Now you have a lot of factors that play into that. That we ain't gonna get into. A lot of it is politically themed, you know.
Right.
But the market didn't like their earnings, and you see that big candle to the downside, and now we've been trying to recover from that. So that's why I see, price coming back up. We have a lot of positive catalysts coming in over the weekend. We got the China deal announced by Trump. Um, and hopefully we can get this government shutdown over with. But leading up, I expect a gap up in the morning. That's what I expect. I expect a gap up in the morning over the news that we got over the weekend, but we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, yeah,
But
we'll have
yeah,
to
I
see.
expect them to go from 1,240 to 1,300. But by close on November 14th, Yeah, November 14th. So that's what I'm looking for in regards to Netflix. I think they should push up. I think they should push up.
We'll see. We'll see. But there you have it. How would you play? How do we like the Netflix 10-1?
I like
Then
it.
there was a question about XRP. What's my thoughts on
Oh
that?
yeah,
XRP was my
yeah.
first token that I ever bought way back in
Mine too.
2017,
Your
2016,
boy put me on
Bruh, had to. Like, bro,
2018. We
this
was
is
at
what I
my
be trying
son's
to tell
flag
people.
football game. I still remember it to this day like it was yesterday.
Bro, I be trying to tell people, like, I started with like $20 every now and then. I was a broke
Mhm.
college student eating ramen noodles still. You feel me? Like literally deciding between groceries and investing. At that time, I was thinking like, oh shit, the investing really gonna be my way out. Yeah, I'm about to get a college degree, but anything can happen. I ain't trying to work for the rest of my life, type of thing. So it don't really take a whole lot of money to get started. For one, that's part of my point. But two, XRP, a lot of people have a lot of negative things to say about XRP because of how Ripple operates. And how I tell people this is Ripple is just one piece of the equation. Look at the entire picture, right? XRP's success is not entirely dependent on how Ripple operates. Now, there's different levels of decentralization, right? But Ripple is the only company in the entire crypto space. Now they're starting to have some more come out and be more transparent. But Ripple is the first company that made it cool to be super transparent on their financials, right? And Ripple is a lot of people talk negative related to Ripple because of how transparent they are, right? So you got a lot of Ethereum Foundation companies, you got a lot of VC backed companies or VC backed tokens and networks like Solana, Sui, Ethereum has a lot of VC money in it, and several others. Those are just some of the popular ones to name a few. and you don't hear half of the negativity that they should be getting going their way. Instead, it gets pointed at XRP and Ripple. So in my opinion, I do think Ripple and has a very important use case for the token XRP, but that's not the entire use case. XRP is used in so many different aspects. A lot of people here recently have been pointing to Solana signing a deal with Western Union. Well, read the fine print. Solana had to pay Western Union for the sponsorship. They had to pay like $25 million for a short-term sponsorship. So even Western Union is paying to play. That's not a long-term deal. Anytime there's a deal involved that's supposed to be long-term, it's going to be mutually beneficial. Western Union is a dying company. MoneyGram, dying company. They trying to get hip to money transmission on the blockchain side of things. And that's not going to necessarily be with a volatile asset. We have stable coins. But nonetheless, XRP has a very good use case, multiple use cases. You have digital asset treasury companies or DATs where their entire business model is built around building a treasury against these crypto assets. So you have some that are mainly focused on buying Ethereum. You have some mainly focused on buying Bitcoin, like MicroStrategy. I mean, obviously they got a different part of the business as well that they focus on, and then you have some that are coming out mainly focused on buying XRP. Vivo Power is another big one that I would recommend that you look into. So there's a lot of use cases for these tokens, in particular XRP. There's a lot of partnerships and deals where XRP is leveraged one way or another. Just some alpha. Vivo Power signed a $100 million deal with another crypto company called Flare, where they pledged $100 million in XRP to basically generate a yield with their XRP. So a lot of these companies are looking for ways to transform their treasury into yield generating powerhouses. Take that for what you will. I wouldn't believe a lot of the negativity. I would say do your own research and look at the bigger picture, not just Shields. That's what I got to say.
Hey, ain't nothing to add to that.
it is what it is.
Yeah.
But it was a good question though. It was a good question though. It was definitely a good question. But yeah, I mean, bro, Netflix, XRP, Bitcoin, Flare, whatever. A lot going on. Nasdaq got a lot going on. S&P 500 got a lot going on. But was that the only charts that you was looking at? We got Netflix.
No,
Netflix wasn't even on the list, honestly.
No, I
Netflix
got
wasn't
some
even on the list.
Yeah, I got some. Let me see if I can pull up my screen. If not, I might have to have you do it. We'll try it though. Hold on. Let me see.
Yeah, why are you doing that? Yeah, no, there's plenty to look at. If you looking at getting some portfolios going, I wouldn't just jump into options. I know we didn't brought up options a few times. That's I mean, it's cool if you willing to day trade, but if you just trying to get your feet wet and buy and hold, I would definitely recommend just buying and holding for right now. Just buy and hold for right now. I got you.
Can you see my screen?
Yes, I can. But let me exit that and bring you up. There you go.
So you can see my chart?
Yeah. Just zoom in a little bit. Just a wee bit. Command plus.
Let me see. No, that's no.
There. I guess that's better. Right there. There you go.
All right. So let me zoom this out some because I'm on. All right. So let me just show y'all something real quick. So I like to use when I'm looking at my stuff on. I like to go from bigger time frames. So I'll just show y'all something real quick. So this is the HIMS chart. So this is a company that has earnings on Monday. So I'm gonna just go through things like 4 or 5 stocks for really quickly. So if you see here, this is the monthly chart. Got the big old candles. And what I like to do is you'll see I got different levels marked out. So at the top of this candle, this is October's candle. So tomorrow we will have a new candle start for November. So this is my previous month high for this monthly candle, and this is my previous month low down here. And then if you come to the weekly, this is the previous weekly candle. We'll also have a new weekly candle next week. Well, tomorrow. This is the previous week high, and the previous month low is also the previous week low. Then if you come over to the daily chart, you will see this is the previous day high of the last trading day. This is the previous day low of the last trading day. Now, I like to mark these zones up really, really quickly so that no matter what time frame you're on, you can visually see the range that you're trading in. You can see who has control, buyers or sellers. So as you can see right here, just looking at HIMS, even if I zoom out, you can pretty much see if I extended these lines here, pretty much see that we've just been trading in a big range. We've been trading in between the previous month high and the previous month low. We're just trading in a big range as far as these bigger time frames. But then if you come down to a chart, maybe like the 4 hour, you can see that during the last couple of trading days, we are trading in between the weekly range because this is the previous week low and the previous month low. This is the previous week high. So the last couple of days we've been in a downtrend, but we've also been in this same range between the previous week high and the previous week low. As you can see, we're in a little downtrend right here. Price came down, made a double bottom off the previous month low, previous week low, and it's trying to build back up. Now, these boxes right here that you see, these are what we call resistance zones. These are prices that you can, if you scroll back on the chart, you can see price respects this resistance zone, tried to break above it, rejected, broke above it a little bit, rejected, respected it, respected it, respected it, came down. This right here will be a support, came down, tried to break down, buyers pushing up, stayed, respected it, kind of bounced in between this support and resistance, finally broke below, came down, and created this previous month low, also previous week low. And then also you can see if we look at the last trading day, you see we're still in between this previous week high and previous week low. And we're trying to recover. So this would be a pretty much what you'll call that a 2-2 rev, wouldn't you?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So you
Unless we
got price
fail.
trying to, yeah. So you got price trying to reverse to the upside on this candle. But when you see these large wicks, that means price tried to push up, but sellers pushed this back down. So you got a little buying resistance down here, but you also got a lot of resistance from the sellers pushing price back down when um we tried to break upward. So we'll look at on a daily real quick. This is the HIMS chart. They have earnings on Monday, and it'll be after market closes. So be about 3 o'clock our time. They have an implied volatility of 14.7%.
Which is
So
crazy.
that mean if earnings is good, they beat, you could very well see price shoot up and break past both of these resistance levels. That is very likely with an implied volatility that high, which would mean that HIMS could potentially hit a new all-time high this week, if not get very close. If you scroll back here, you can also see these zones. You see they've been respected. Tried to come up, failed, broke above, rejected this one, came all the way to the top, rejected at the top of that. So with an implied volatility that high, we'll just have to see. We could see a new all-time high, or if earnings come out bad, we could dump, at least. Oh man, I don't even want to see that.
That's nasty.
But but with implied
That's
volatility that low, man. With implied volatility that low, I'm not gonna lie. You could see hymns at $25 or less. You could see hymns at $25 or less. Immediate market reaction. Immediate market reaction. You might have some people buy the dip because a lot of people like hymns. So I'll go to Palantir real quick. Palantir, Same thing. I got my ranges marked out: previous month high and low, previous week high and low, previous day high and low, just to know where I am, just to know where I'm at in the market. If we're looking at the daily chart, you see Palantir has been gapping up a lot. One thing you want to look for when you're seeing that is exhaustion to the upside.
Hmm.
A stock can only go up so much so fast. When you see a lot of these gap ups, you can see some exhaustion. You can see some reversal coming soon. But on as of right now, Palantir, they had that news come out with Nvidia, so you really seen Palantir and Nvidia run up crazy over the last week, and that's what you see here reflected in the stock price. Also, they also have earnings on Monday after hours with an implied volatility of 10.5%. So if they beat, you could see them go anywhere from, I'll say, 230 plus. If earnings doesn't beat, you could probably see them come back down here around this 170, 170 level. Hopefully they don't break no lower, but with earnings you never know, man. But I
Yeah,
think if they don't beat earnings, you could at least see them come back down to this little zone right here.
it looked like it
So
liked that range a lot.
yeah,
Like I would probably
yeah.
box that range in just to be sure where it could go, and it'd be interesting to see where it would if they don't beat.
Mhm.
It'd be interesting
But
to see if
also,
it
if you
respects
come
it.
down here, you can see if they don't beat earnings, you see they could come down to. Let me just grab a box real quick. If they don't beat earnings, you could see them come down. Dang, I got this. Let me turn this magnet off. If they don't beat earnings, you could see them come down to this zone. Raise that up. You could see them come and sit in this zone here. If they break below that, you could also see them come here to this zone down here. Because you see there's another little zone that price light down here sitting above this support. So you got that kind of gives you an idea on where price could fall. You can either come back down and fall about down into this zone, or you can come back down here and ride this support down here. And as you see this little thin green line right here, that's a little support that you see price respecting. So if we break that 9 times out of 10, we're coming back down somewhere in this range on Palantir. But Palantir, I expect them to beat. I expect them to beat. They've been getting a lot of government contracts. They've been expanding their commercial business. Palantir is one of those companies that's data driven. They just signed a partnership with Nvidia. I think they're proud to be one of the most influential and most impactful companies of this generation for sure. So I expect good things out of Palantir. So, but they kind of are a little overextended. They've been gapping up a lot. So
Hmm.
we'll see. We'll see if you do play those earnings, or if you are invested in Palantir following earnings. If you do get a big run up, I would look to take some profit. Personally,
Not
I would
financial
look to take some
advice.
profit. Not financial advice. If it was me, I'm looking to take some profit because what goes up must come down. Nothing is on fire forever.
And it
And
looked like
then
a reversal, low key, right there. It looked like it's
yeah, I
already
mean,
trying to gear up
this
for a
was
reversal.
this was that last day, um, which you kind of see the same thing if we went to the Nvidia chart. The market knows that there's earnings coming up on these companies. So the broader market, especially this day, was coming down. So
Hmm.
to see them still, trying to push up, you see, of course, you're seeing the selling pressure coming down, but you see the market wants to go up in a stock like Palantir, especially with earnings ahead, what people expect them to do, and the Nvidia deal and all of that. So we'll just have to see. We'll see how earnings play out. This and AMD are the two stocks that I plan on playing earnings on this week. Plan on playing earnings on this week. And then, of course, Tuesday, we have AMD, the big dog.
Look at that gap. Golly,
Hmm.
man.
Yes. So you see, the now let me tell y'all something about this gap because we just talked about it. This down here is where we entered the day trade. Well, not the day trade. We took a swing. This is where we
Hmm.
entered our swing, and I really honestly think it was a little
It was the
low.
day.
It
It was
wasn't as
2 days before
yeah.
that.
Okay, so we entered our swing somewhere in this little zone. We entered our swing, and this huge gap up in price, we were able to take advantage of that price appreciation from somewhere down here. I don't remember exactly, but all the way to the top of here. And that morning, when we tried to get out and sell off, we sold around somewhere, close to the mid to top range of this candle during the sell off. But then you see them continue to push up. What caused this big gap up is they had a deal announced with OpenAI. They went parabolic, absolutely crazy. One of the craziest moves I've seen this year, from a stock in a single weekend. Uh,
Hmm.
that was insane. We made a lot of money. We made a lot of a
Let me
lot of
talk
money.
about let me talk about moves like this because they don't come often.
No,
But a move like this creates generational wealth. Like if we were able to size in like ridiculous
God,
on a
we
move
probably wouldn't
like
be here right
this,
now. I ain't gonna lie to you.
we would not be on the podcast right now, bro.
Yeah,
I
we'd
would have
be on the
turned in my
pod
2 weeks, bro. My
jetty.
2 week notice would have been turned in, and I ain't even gonna be working them 2 weeks. So just go ahead and cut me my check right now, and we go our separate ways. That's them type of moves, bro.
That's a generational move, man.
Like I don't think
That's a generational move.
I'll be surprised if we ever experience another move like that again. I mean, it'll
What
probably
did we get?
happen.
Like 2700%?
Yeah,
Something like that.
yes. It took us. Well, we entered on a Friday, exited on a Monday. Yeah.
Hmm.
So I mean, come on. Yeah.
If if you follow us on Instagram, boy, you seen them screenshots.
Yeah.
You seen them
Receipts
screenshots.
were posted.
It it
Receipts were
it
indeed
was
posted.
crazy. It was crazy. I ain't we I'll just say this. Last month I probably made more than last month. I dang near made probably like 70 to 80% of probably the average annual income.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I'm talking about we ran up stupid paper last month.
Yeah.
Stupid paper
October
last
was a
month.
good month. October was a good,
Crazy
despite
month.
the tariff and the trade war
Hmm.
stuff between Trump and China. October was a really good month to make some paper
For
in
sure.
stocks, options
And
trading.
talking about it, talking about same with crypto too, because you smacked
Oh yeah,
Bitcoin
yeah,
crazy
I
last
sure
month.
did. I almost
Smacked
forgot.
Bitcoin crazy last month. Dang, that every
Almost
time you
forgot.
smacked it, it was up a
Yeah.
100%.
Yes,
Crazy.
sir. Yes, sir. And that's another thing. That's another thing. So I mean, being able to be adaptive to the markets, whether it's stocks or crypto, can be lucrative. So like, yeah, when I was even though October was a really good month for trading options for the whole group, man, I would hop over to crypto and smack BTC for a put
Go
or or
crazy.
or or for a long real quick. Just quick scalp.
Hmm.
But
Yeah.
hitting them for like I think my highest was like 350%
Yeah, it was
on
crazy. It was
on a
crazy.
small move, on small moves. So yeah, man, last month was a really good month, whether you was trading options or you were trading perps for crypto. But that's the beauty of understanding the market. Either way,
Yeah.
that's the beauty
And
of
and
it.
for the, and for a lot of people that may be new or um may not be traders or understand kind of the good thing about trading options or whether it be day trading. I prefer options, me personally, as I've gotten deeper into earnings. Gotten deeper into trading. I definitely prefer options, swings, leaps, whatever you want to call it. I prefer that over day trading because you're able to put time on your side. And of course, whether you day trading or swinging or leaping, whatever you want, you can make money to the upside or downside. So
Hmm.
once you learn this skill set, once you know what you're doing, if you're paying attention to the news, what's going on, you can capitalize whether the market is going up or down. We've made money of the following month to the upside and to the downside. So you
Absolutely.
you can make money going both ways. All you need to do is learn a skill set. Shameless plug. We will have a Discord, a paid Discord coming soon where you will be able to get more in-depth information on, technical analysis, um, talking about, different trading strategies, whether it be the strat, support and resistance, um, golden ratio, a lot of different other things that we'll get into. Um, we'll get into some options trading. Could be some signaling, long term. I know Anthony has a lot of things going with DeFi,
Absolutely.
um, that he has coming for y'all. A lot of things with
Absolutely.
it's just a lot coming up, man. It's a lot coming up. So if that's something you're interested in, and really deep diving into learning how to, not just long term invest, but trade, whether it be crypto, or stocks, and leveraging your crypto, like he was talking about earlier in the pod, those services will be available. Just wanted to
But
put that out
this is
there.
my thing though. This is my thing,
Yeah.
and this is my
Hmm.
main caveat for the Discord.
Yeah.
Is it ain't yes, you will learn, but it's not for your hand to be held through the whole
No.
process. If you're not willing to put in the time to learn this type of skill set, it's not gonna work for you. Right? Like, yeah, you could make money just sitting there and getting the signals. But my main thing through my entire investing journey is, man, I gotta learn how to fish for myself. If I don't know how to fish for myself, like when the lights get cut off, how am I gonna know how to move? You know what I'm saying? And when times get hard, how am I gonna know how to move? You know what I'm saying? So it's more about willing to put the time in to learn. If you can focus on learning the
Yes.
skill set, then you're gonna be good. You're gonna be great. You're gonna take
Hmm.
some wins and you for sure gonna take some losses.
Hey,
Cause
heavy on that. Heavy on that. Heavy on
like,
you gonna take. Hey, I don't care who y'all listen to. I don't know who y'all listen to, what y'all hear. You not gonna hit. Nobody got 100% hit right. Once we get into the Discord, we'll probably get into a little bit more of our portfolios and our positions, which are we may even start a public account, but we gonna show y'all the wins and losses. If you follow us on Instagram, you probably didn't see both.
mhm.
I got real into my trading portfolio on my Instagram and showed how much money I made, tens of thousands of dollars versus how much I lost. Realized lost, and how much I lost. I think I only lost this last month. Maybe 6, 7,000, but I made over like 45, 46. So
That's a massive percentage. But this is
six,
my
seven.
thing. This is my right. Like this is my
No.
thing though. Like you gotta be willing to take the L because not everything gonna be gravy. But if you able to risk manage and manage the L's you do take, man, them wins
Hmm.
gonna outweigh them losses all the time. So that's the thing, man. Like in life, you ain't gonna win at everything. Anybody that is not showing you they L's, but they always showing you a win, they not to be trusted. That's
Oh,
my motto. I ain't hit on every little thing. I ain't hit on
it's
everything in crypto.
impossible. It's
It's
impossible.
impossible. It's impossible. So
It's
we
too
definitely
many
gonna have the
factors, too
Discord.
many variables.
Absolutely, absolutely. And nobody has a crystal ball. Nobody. I don't care what people say. Nobody has a crystal ball, bro. That's
Mm-mm.
that's that's
We
that's
don't even
clickbait
get me
shit.
started.
Bro, that's
Don't even
clickbait.
get me
That's
started.
clickbait, bro. That's
Don't
clickbait.
even
But
get me
anyway,
started.
the Discord is definitely gonna be coming up. We definitely gonna
Yeah.
post that out there. Those it is for people who want to learn, who gonna be in there asking questions. And
Yes.
bro, if you know something that we ain't talking about, share it with the
Hmm.
class. Share it with the
Yes.
class. That's what it's
Yes.
for. That's what it's for.
Community,
So
bro. Adding value to everybody.
big
Everybody
time.
got different strategies. Everybody got different trading methods and things that they utilize, different indicators, what are things that you look for that work. How I find entries is different from the way Ace find entries.
Hmm.
But we utilize, what we both do and what we both are able to execute on in the market to find entries to, help each other. And I'll say this, one more thing about trading. What a lot of people don't tell you is trading is pay to play. I
Oh yeah.
promise you it is. Trading is pay to play. You if you want to learn a real skill set, if you want to learn the information that you will be able to use and have longevity in this game, one, I say it's pay to play because you're all of the best teachers that I know, all of the top people in this game, the people that are teaching these skills at a very high level, it's not for free. I've paid thousands of dollars, thousands of dollars. If I had to calculate the money, and I say it's pay to play because one, you're gonna have to pay to learn, and two, you're gonna lose money while you're learning. So Man,
They'll know. They'll find
all
out.
to get all. I just want to be real with y'all. I just want to give y'all realistic expectations. Now, granted, like you said, risk management. If you can control your emotions and you can have good risk management, you can minimize your losses greatly. But if you are emotional and you're impatient and only you know, you know how you feel when you losing money. That's why
Hmm.
I always say trading is not for everybody. If you're gonna get emotional about losing a couple $100, $1,000, then you probably shouldn't be leveraging or trading that much. You know what? Whenever you enter a position, especially in the climate that we're in, when we got news coming out as much as it does, political things, geopolitical things, you got stuff flying around everywhere. Things can go real left for you. Things can go real right for you. Things can change overnight. Things can happen intraday. Don't risk more than you cannot afford to lose. You know,
Absolutely.
and but I just want to say that because I want people to have realistic expectations. I know people think you may see us, you know, if you follow us on social media, you may see us posting our winnings. Or we hit this, we hit that. Yes, we do win more than we lose, but the losses come. The losses
Absolutely.
come, and you got to be able to accept that. You got to be able to take it on the chin and move forward. Because as long as you stay disciplined and don't let your emotions take over, you should win more than you lose. Especially if you're doing your due diligence, learning the skill, following the news, earnings, all the stuff we talk about.
Bro,
But
and you gotta laugh about it, man, because it is what it is, bro. You can't cry over spilt milk, man. You can't cry over spilt
hey,
milk. We be
I,
cracking jokes in the group chat, man. It is what it is.
after I'm gonna go through two more charts, and then I'll show y'all. I'll show y'all something, and I'll show y'all exactly why I told y'all don't play earnings. I could tell you from experience. But all right, this AMD's chart, earnings Tuesday after the bell. I am also playing these earnings. I will look to enter a position in the morning. Um, I think that AMD is poised for a really good beat. Poised for a really good beat. I've liked what they've been doing. I've liked what I've heard from the keynotes. I like the partnerships. I like their partnership with the Department of Energy. They have a lot of great catalysts. Their CEO, Lisa Su, is amazing. She's also the cousin of Jensen Huang, the CEO of NVIDIA. For those that don't know, AMD is an amazing company, and I think that they're going to beat. And I'm going to take a strategic risk. I'll say that. I'm going to take a strategic risk based off what I've seen from the company, my conviction in the company, and what the CEO is doing in there, and what I think the financial health of this company is leading up to this earning. So that's why I'm going to take that play. But so if AMD beats like I expect them to, like I said, I think you can see $300. If not $300, very, very, very close this week. If they miss, well, we could get the gap fill because price needed anyway. If they miss, I think that gap fill is coming. But we'll see. We'll see, man. What's AMD's implied volatility? 9.1%. We'll see. We'll see. But this is definitely one I'm interested in and going to be looking at. The next one is Robinhood that we talked about. They report on Wednesday. Look at their chart real quick. Got them charted up. As you can see, they're pretty much just in a big range in between the previous month high and low. Price is currently trading inside of the previous week high and previous week low. So price is kind of just moving sideways right now in this previous week and low range. Same on a higher time frames in the previous month. So that tells you price isn't really doing anything crazy. Whether you see these drops or price come up from a longer term perspective, price is in a big range on Robinhood. So we'll see. We'll see what earnings, you know, come about. Their implied volatility is 10.2%. So I think if they hit, you could see Robinhood make a new all-time high. If they miss, you could probably see them come back down to test this previous month low. Is what you could expect from Robinhood.
Bro, they cooked if they miss earnings.
You think
That's
they
all I
go?
can
You
say.
think they go low?
They
You think they go lower than previous month low?
I think they'll
which
try.
is
If
120.
if they miss, it'll try.
Dang, that'd be a big job. Well, I mean, actually, you
Bro,
ain't
we've
lying because
seen
what
worse.
they closed at 146. Previous month low is 120. Oh yeah, they could come down here
Yeah, they
down to
going
like 113. They could at least come to the bottom of their zone.
easy.
That'd be
I
scary
mean,
hours if they got lower than that.
nothing is out of the realm of possibility. Is basically all I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
I think I need to do long term because I definitely can see my emotions getting the best of me on swings and day trades. Hey man, if you
Who
know
said
that
that?
about yourself, social studies.
Okay.
If you know that about yourself, then definitely start off on the long term investing side of things. But even on
Or
a long term investing side of things, you still got
yeah.
to still got to have your emotions in check because
The,
even when the market's downturn, yeah, your long term thought is okay. I'm in these
mhm.
for 5 to 10 years, but seeing red days on your long term portfolio can still have you emotional. So just use that as training to get used to holding through the red days, right? Because eventually you're gonna be like, man, I need to find out a way to also make money on these companies or even in crypto more passively type of thing, right? So it's use long-term trading or long-term investing as training to get your emotions ready for something like trading
Yeah.
options or swing trading, that type of thing. So
Yeah. And I mean, and you also have the paper trading route that you can use
true.
to learn a skill set without risking your own capital. But the unfortunate thing about trading, I think the best way, the fastest way you're gonna learn, and the only way, because I used to be the same way. The only way you're going to learn to tame your emotions in regards to training, I mean, in regards to trading, is by going through it. You're going to have to put your real capital at stake in order to learn to control your emotions. Because you could paper trade, but your emotions ain't gonna be the same because you know it's not your real money. So I would say start with a small portfolio. You can start trading, bro, with as little as $200 to $500. Not even gonna lie to you. One
Yeah.
kind, slowly build up. I would say start with a small amount of money when you are ready to start, and just do one kind and do it like that. Because trading with your real money, I personally believe, is the only way you're going to truly learn how to manage your emotions while
And
trading. Because
really tighten up them technicals because you
yeah,
every dollar, man, it's gonna
it
matter.
hurt.
It's gonna
Yeah.
matter. So
All right, but
so
the last one. Then we get out these charts. IonQ, IonQ. For those of you who don't know, this is, I would say, the Nvidia of quantum computing. This is the first quantum publicly traded company on the New York Stock Exchange.
hey, that
So this
chart
is
look good
definitely,
though.
yeah. So this is definitely one in regards to quantum. I always pay attention to their earnings because I think they're one of the leaders in the space. So kind of whatever they're doing will kind of let me know what the sector is doing. We know some people like Jensen Wong and others are big fans of quantum. You have big companies in the Mag 7 working on quantum. NVIDIA, of course, is playing a big role in quantum, trying to help with their compute power and their um, that side of it. But as far as this chart, man, like you said, it do look good. You seen price, you know, you see this big green range up, big uptrend. If I made a trend line, you would see we came in a big trend. Then we came down. This right here, double top, made a double
Twin
top. Whenever you see
Towers.
that, for those
Hmm.
day traders, if you are in a trade, and of course on the daily, you can see the same kind of setup on smaller time frames. Like if you're in a trade and you on a 5 minute, 15 minute, 30 minute, 1 hour, you see you taking this all the way up to to the upside, taking it all the way up to the upside. You see this, it's time to go. It's time to
Don't
go.
even second guess it, bro. Just get out.
You see this? You see this? It's time to go. It's time to go because if we back test it, which is something that we'll start getting a little more into, not on episodes like this. We'll kind of have episodes dedicated to charting, but when you see this, it's time to go. But you seen price come down, and the same thing to the downside. You see that double bottom. You see that
Time to
double bottom.
enter. I'm
So
in that thing.
if you in puts, It's time to go. If you're looking for entry, all right, this may be your time to shine. You see price double bottom, come back up, kind of ranged a little bit. Then you got a drop on quantum. I know why quantum dropped. It's not coming to me right now. It was some news catalyst that came out that dropped a lot of the quantum stocks, but I can't remember it off the top of my head right now. But then you see it come back, and now we just kind of trading sideways. But with quantum being such a big deal right now, it's one of those things that is supposed to be the next driver of the market after AI, and semiconductors. So their implied, I don't even know the implied volatility. I don't even know the implied volatility. I ain't gonna lie, but this is one that could definitely do numbers as well. You could see them go back up to test that previous month high if they get good earnings. But with a company like I don't know, man, because a lot of these companies in this position, like an INQ, they be real heavy in the developmental research and development type
Hmm.
stage. A lot of these companies don't really be profitable like that. So a lot of their earnings, sometimes they'll kind of just move a little flat, or they won't get them big surges kind of up or down, because people don't really be expecting them to. What have sent a stock like this up is if they announce some type of partnership or some type of product or or a somebody, yeah, something like that, like a partnership or a product or development, a milestone that they reached or something like that. Something like that is what you can see to raise this stock up. But those are pretty much the stocks I'm looking at for going into earnings this week.
It's
Let
a
me
pretty
see
good
if I
list.
can get
Pretty good
I can get
list.
out of this. I don't know how to turn this off. Is it
Oh
off
no, I
already?
got you. Yeah, I got you. I got you. I
Bet,
got you.
bet, bet.
But that's a good
What's else he
list.
said? He said, I don't need them hard lessons right now. Hey, I feel you. I
It's good
feel
that
you.
it's good that you know that about yourself right now.
That's why I took I think I took like two courses for probably a year and a half before I finally jumped into trading. I started trying to trade before with Ace back in what was it?
It was in COVID time.
I was crazy impatient. He had sent me to play, like, hey man, it's the play. We get in, we get a little 5% pullback. I'm out of there.
Right.
Next thing you know, that boy hitting me. Hey, you see that? You see that? We up 60%. I be like, boy, I've been sold in the
Bruh.
red. I've been sold. That emotions, being impatient. I can't tell you how many times I would get in a play, anticipating a move, it go the other way, only for me to get exactly what I wanted, exactly what I thought it would do. That emotions, impatience, all that stuff come with it. So if you know you ain't ready for that, you know yourself better than I do. Don't even cost yourself that bread.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. But bruh, first episode back, hour and a half.
Oh, premium.
Premium. Premium. We had some news. We had some mostly charts, mostly technical. So I'm definitely liking that vibe a little bit more. We gonna always cover news though. But we gonna
Hmm.
for sure make sure we cover some technicals and some how to's. Make sure you being able to walk away, being able to apply some of this information, not just get fed a whole bunch of news articles and headlines, stuff like that. So be on the lookout for next episode. We'll cover the borrow side of leveraging your crypto assets, how that looks, how you can access liquidity without necessarily selling, which is a very big thing. They do it in traditional finance already, but crypto makes it more accessible to retail investors, which is what we typically are. And then we'll build these building blocks, both on the crypto side and stock side each week. So look forward to that. Look forward to that.
Yep. And then we will get with y'all on the Discord. We're still working that out, developing that. No, Ace plugged his YouTube. My public personal YouTube is also coming back at BCL Media One, or you can search it at Blu the Investor. I'm going to be doing a lot of you know a lot of chart TA analysis, talking a lot about news. I probably got some videos coming this week, going over some of the earnings that I just talked about, kind of going over a recap, and looking at what we thought versus what happened, seeing what happened with them stocks. But Yeah, be on the lookout for that, man. I appreciate each and every one of y'all
Absolutely.
that popped out, that got in the chat, man.
That's what it's
Appreciate y'all, man.
about.
It's all love. It's
That's
all
what it's
love, man.
about, bro. Ask them questions, man. Don't be afraid to ask questions because I guarantee you there's like 15, 20 other people that got the same question. They just not as brave as you to ask it. So continue to ask questions. Use us for when we hear. Hit us up on the socials, man. Hit us up on the socials. Did you touch on Flair Forward? Yeah, I mean, okay. So I mean, look, going out,
Yeah,
got
yeah,
to.
yeah.
Hey,
DeFi
I got a DeFi Den specific community right now under my other venture called Flair Forward, where we teach you the ins and outs of DeFi. So if you are interested in that, the link is indeed in my socials on Instagram. Hit me up on Twitter as well. I'm more active on X or Twitter. That's where you'll see me post a lot about my crypto DeFi plays. I'll talk a lot about that stuff. But yeah, DeFi Den, man, we take you through the very basics of DeFi and all the way up to an expert users and decentralized finance. So if you're interested in that, hit me up on that for Flair Forward. But if you don't want to get on Flair Forward, a lot of them same teachings is coming over to this Discord as well that we've been talking to you about. So you got, depending on whichever medium you want to access, it'll be there. It'll be available. So yeah, W episode for sure. We're gonna take you through the building blocks of each one, and appreciate you for joining. Remember, if you ain't learning, you can't earn, man. So
No,
all right,
sir.
we'll hit you up next time, man. Peace, y'all. Appreciate
Real $1 million worth of game, man. Shout out Gillian Wallow, boy. Yeah,
it.
I'll mess with y'all in the chat, but I love you. I'm happy to be back, man. Elated.
On
Excited.
me.
Let's get
On
some money,
me.
man. Let's print.
See y'all next week.